Go.
All right. Greetings, everyone. This is part.
Well, we're on part 3, and we're at the topic and rant of what we think the future holds for this franchise. Because we discussed the various games. We can't say much for um, Requiem because it's not going to be out until February, late February. So let's just get to the topic at hand of what is Resident Evil. When I looked into it, Resident Evil is a sci-fi survival horror. Sci-fi as in science gone wrong. There's plenty of movies like that. Not to do with aliens or anything like that. It's just science gone wrong, like experimentation. But in this case of, you got these elite people from various around people around the United States, from the Air Force, from the Army, from the Marines, Navy SEAL, teamed together to form the group called STARS. And they were basically used as guinea pigs for Umbrella's experiments to see what's better, these elite group or these experiments like the hunters, the liquor, the crimson head, the zombies, just to see their capabilities. And that's basically the gist of it. It's putting people that are qualified to handle many situations into a situation that they've never been to before. So what do you think went wrong with this series, or what do you think started the downfall of Resident Evil, if you consider it a downfall, or it's more like we're trying to figure out what we want to do, or we're just, well, the money's not talking right now, so we're going to do this until the money doesn't sing to us anymore. So what's your thoughts on why you think Resident Evil's the way that it is now instead of the way that it was in 19...
The thing is that the reason why it is that they wanted something new, and it what I mean is a new. It's it's not a good idea. It's like, guys, you guys have all this lore, you guys have all this stuff. Why don't you do something with it? Now, when it comes to rebooting, I mean, look, we run it Resident Evil 2 back, we got it, but we got it in this weird bastardized version. And to be on topic, like, what's gonna happen? Oh, honestly, I know they're just gonna go weird. And we know that Resident Evil 9 isn't out yet. But see, I actually have a theory at the end of this, but I'm not gonna say too much about it yet. But I'll save that for later. But the question was, what's gonna happen? What's going on now? Yeah, they're lightly people pleasing, but they're doing weird stuff after it. That's all I gotta say.
Okay, so do you think that the franchise improved over the years or downgraded? For me, it's like an up and down because they had something right and they went back down because it would avoid a bunch of risks. Then they went back to something that's familiar, like, oh, spooky house, you're by yourself, and then people for some reason think that defies Resident Evil, then they downgrade again to being more simple again and try to cater to a bunch of people. But what I noticed is, like, we're the spiders, we're the birds, we're all these other things that we normally see in a horror
And
genre. And I'm like, where are they? I'm looking for you.
when it comes to those, is that um, yeah, because those don't make any sense either. Because they're also, it feels like they're people pleasing again. It's like, oh, we don't want to put this because we don't want to scare people. We don't want to put that because it will make people uncomfortable and not want to play our game. I'm like, it's a horror game. It's supposed to be scary. What do you mean? You have a gun. Shoot it.
And what
You know?
about the mysterious yellow paint? This yellow paint tells you that you go here to find the item you're looking for. Oh, this is the box that you could destroy with this yellow tape on it. And I'm like, Resident Evil 4 didn't do that. Resident Evil 5 didn't do that. Hell, Resident Evil 6 didn't do that. So why do we need yellow paint to tell us what we can destroy, what we can engage with, and what we can pick? It's weird. It's like our gamers just this dumb, or they assume we're that dumb. So what is your thoughts on the yellow paint, which we also see in the remake of Resident Evil 4?
Okay, so the yellow paint thing. I get what they were trying to do, but it's kind of a bad move because, like you said, it's like it's pretty much shouting, "Oh, climb up here, go over there." And two, it's not even lore based. It's like, who is going around painting this wall? The only time, and here's the thing, the only time I actually accepted it was in Ada's little DLC, because there was a little puzzle. You had to figure out how to go through the door. When you look down on the ledge, it's the insignia. And I'm like, okay, that makes sense. But all in all, like you said, what's up with all this yellow paint? You
And I
know,
also,
why?
yeah, and I also saw this in Silent Hill 2 remake where they put like white drapery all over like windows and doors, and it's like, why do I this? Why are you putting laundry on things? Like, if I want to know if I can interact with things, I'll go to it. Why do I need the game to tell me that? It's like, our gamers just that
Here-
dumb?
Here's something you ain't gonna like. Why did Outlast do a better job? Follow the blood?
But that's the gimmick. Like, that's what they do.
Exactly. And it's like, okay, follow the blood. We follow it, okay. It progresses us to the. It's like, wow, how did this little game do it right?
They also did
And
a
y'all
lot of
can-
games. They do a lot of games too. They did it with Plague. They did it with the Plague's Tale. They have like white chalk or something that you can go through here. You can jump up there. It's like, why are you telling me where to go? If I get lost, then that's all on me. Same goes with ladders. Oh, we gotta put this white powder on these ladders so you know you can interact with them. I'm like,
And see,
that's silly. I don't
if you're
need.
gonna do something like it, I mean, look, if they're gonna, they should make it blend just a little bit. If you're gonna do stuff like that, or just don't.
But then,
Because
but
it's
then,
like,
they explain Metal Gear Solid. I don't need any white paint or yellow paint to tell me I can climb a ladder.
exactly.
It's like, you climb a ladder because you climb a ladder because it's there. I don't need some paint to tell me that. So it's just, what the hell? Okay. Well,
But
here we
it
go.
does make the player look dumb because it's like, okay, I get it, man. Okay, that door's painted yellow. We get it.
Well, here's a very silly question. Should these games be scary? Short answer, yes. But fear is, I know, subjective, but it's like, why removing things that are scary? I thought the whole point of it is to be scary. If it's going to be giant spiders, bees, sharks, or what have you, then why are we removing it? Because it's too scary?
And like you said, it's like, look, you can keep all this and be scary. You can have an act, you can make it actually oriented and make it scary. It's not that hard.
Okay, another simple question. Does storytelling, timelines, and logical consistency matter? Short answer, yes. When it comes to horror, it has to have story. It has to, so you can understand what's going on, whether it's written storytelling, like it's scripted, or is it environmental storytelling that you pick things up as you go along, or auditory storytelling, whether it's being spoken word or through music. But with Resident Evil, it didn't have a complicated story. It's very simple, and there's nothing wrong with making a simple story because you can build something from there. And I think that's the best thing you could possibly do. But the problem is that it got so popular that they want to add more things to it, which made very little sense. And then build up of, we're gonna take down Umbrella, but then you get to 4, oh, the stock market destroyed Umbrella. Oh, so
Right.
after you team up with the siblings reunite, the Redfields, and then you told Claire, Leon that we're gonna take down Umbrella, and then we got Jill saying take down Umbrella, but we never did. We never did. Which was like, okay, we built this hype, and then the hype is dead. Okay.
Yeah.
Why this franchise needs games in general became so popular? I think it's because America in general really loves zombies. They have issues with the government, which you can't blame them, and also science gone wrong. So it's sort of like peanut butter and jelly. It's like it's there. It was popular back then, kind of like westerns were popular. Then sci-fi was popular. Then superheroes. But I think it fit a niche that it kind of connected with people in a visceral sort of way. Like, oh, I could connect with this. But what's your thoughts? Like, you know what? I'll start with you. Why did you like Resident Evil? That's the basic thing.
To answer this question, it's actually kind of weird. Is that I thought it was pretty interesting. And see, I know I didn't like hand controls, but I'm like, okay. So they used you know, point and click system with this. All right. And then it's like, oh crap. They put dogs. They put birds. They put, and it
Bees,
was
sharks, snakes.
yeah. And then part one also actually enhanced that because the Crimson Head system. And I'm like, oh man, that's creepy. Because if you don't hurry up and burn this body, then this thing's gonna come back. And I'm like, oh.
And that was an original concept, but then they didn't have enough time, which they put in the remake. So I think the remake made the best improvements, or as to say, put in what they had to remove from the original one.
Yeah.
So that's good, at least to me anyway. So
Yeah, that's the thing. It's like, guys, you just had a great, great, great concept, and then you just flopped.
all right, go to the next question. Why was Outbreak the exception and upgraded to mainline when it came to Requiem? This is just speculation on my part. It's just they're like, oh, we have this game. We're out of ideas. Oh, we would put some female character. I know. Let's put this character in. Why reasons? Because I don't know what the real reason was. That's my assumption because I know they did this before. Because they didn't think about Outbreak until now. They're like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
Let's just throw it in because I don't have any concrete evidence, but that's what I assume. It's just, oh, we don't have any ideas, so that's what we did. So it's hard for me
I'm
to...
right there. Actually, I'm right there with you, but I'm a little more angry because, as I told you before, it's like, okay, so let me get this straight. You knew this character existed, and then you just, oh, okay, let's just put this character in here because people know who this person is, right? Right. And it's a bad move. And I kept saying it. It's like, look, if you're gonna do that, okay, then now you have to actually bring the actual game out.
Yeah,
There's no
and I
excuse
doubt they
anymore.
will. I doubt they will, but
And
they should.
And everyone, if they don't, then it's like, then what's the point of this? Why would you put this character here if you're not gonna put the time in?
Well, speaking of which, that leads to the next question: is why Resident Evil changed too rapidly? I have to say it got too when it became. I think Resident Evil 4 was the deciding factor because it became like it became like Final Fantasy 7, and that it was popularity to the point where this is where Shinji Ikami was still a thing. There, he was still in charge of Resident Evil, but he didn't. He started the story, but it wasn't that good, so they had someone else do it. His name is Iwao, Akechi Iwao, and he was I was considered the true writer and true creator of the story of Resident Evil because he wanted to be more sci-fi survival horror, and that we should connect with these characters and see what they went through in this thing. And he had a concept of like the helipad was still there, but it was supposed to be another level. That was supposed to be the final area to escape. But what I'm getting here is it's like it was a sci-fi survival horror with some thriller and mystery in it. Like you're just because we're basically pretty much reading these files, trying to get some what's going on, why we're really here, and so on and so forth. That was the point of Resident Evil 1 and so forth. But in Resident Evil 4, we went from being a rookie cop to this special agent, Leon Kennedy. And the thing is, I didn't have too much of a problem with it as long as it doesn't change too much. But I remember when that game came out, I bought that game when I was a sophomore in college. And I will say that when I started that game, I didn't stop playing it. It was hard to keep it down. I enjoyed it. No tank controls, no fixed camera angles that hinder me. Well, I would say that I was more irritated with the tank controls more than the fixed camera angles, because the fixed camera angles messes up the controls when you meet that type of framing. Introduced to over the shoulder, which a lot of people liked. I was more interested in where the game was going to go, because I can kick down doors, I can destroy locks with my knife, I have a much better inventory system. I can actually hunt fish and put them in my inventory as a healing item. I can upgrade my health using the yellow herbs, which we'll never see again. You get more weapons, which you can upgrade, because you couldn't upgrade in the other game unless you find parts. But in this game, you actually can buy them if they're available, and buy guns in general. It was a combination of action and horror, which it was kind of leaning to that in some way, but the horror elements was still dominant over the action. But after 4, it was kind of like with Final Fantasy 8 and Final Fantasy 9. I like 9 more than 8. But it was like they were just trying to appeal to people who don't like horror and appeal to people who like action. So I think it's when it became mainstream is when it got stupid. Same goes with Final Fantasy 7. That game made it mainstream and then became less and less of an RPG because it made it way too simple. So that's probably why there are people having a bit of a hard time playing games like Tactics. I know that's out now. And what's cool about that one, I don't own it yet, but they give you 2 versions of that game. They give you the remastered version of it where they have voice acting, and they have the other ones for the PlayStation, which is cool, which I haven't seen a lot of developers do. You have the new version, you have the original version put together. But to bring it home is Resident Evil changed so much, not only because they had different writers every single time, but I think they're trying to cater to, like I said, the more action-oriented people instead of the people who like to get, not only to get scared, but like to put themselves in a situation where they have to do item management and read the files to understand what's going on and conserve ammo, like see how good they are getting through a situation with the stuff they have. And Resident Evil 4, 5, and 6, I wasn't that concerned about running out of ammo that much. I think 5 and 6, I didn't have to worry about ammo all that much. But I think the moment that it became too mainstream and focused too much on action is when it went downhill. And then they're like, oh, let's bring in 7 because people like haunty, spooky houses. They're like, that's not Resident Evil 7. We don't need a remake or a reboot of the series. We got that with Resident Evil Remake. It was a solid game. It got awards. And that they always make an everyman. I'm like, well, the characters we played in Resident Evil were not every man or woman.
Okay, let me
Didn't
stop you
have to
right
be.
there. And I'm not trying to disagree with you. And see, that right there, it's like, if that's the case, see, they also shot themselves in the foot when they did that. Because they like, okay, they want the everyman. I'm like, you had a bunch of Outbreak characters that followed that suit.
All of them are that way, and yet they try to pretend it didn't exist. Like, what are you talking about? Outbreak had a journalist, a mechanic, a police
Yeah,
officer, a college
he was
student,
a
a
plumber once
doctor,
again.
a plumber. Okay, sorry, a plumber.
But
But,
then again, the
but
stuff he can do, it makes you look like, well, shit. I guess that's just the title, because you can do other things.
it's just weird. Like, what are you talking about? We had that already, and you're trying to act as if that game didn't exist, and then you bring it back in Requiem. Like, what if you didn't know Outbreak exists? Like, who's Alyssa Ashcroft? And people didn't know that that was supposed to be the main character for Resident Evil 7 because she was at the site when it
And
happened.
see, and see
According
the
to
fact that
Capcom's own lips. Capcom said that, not me. They said that.
okay, and see, that is the other thing that we also want to discuss is that it's the stuff like that don't make no damn sense. It's like, okay, so you guys wanted to do this, right? Right. And then you just said, oh wait, no, we gonna just change it to the everyday man. I'm like, Miss Ashcroft was an everyday, she was an everyday woman, but it's like she would have worked.
And the reason why I'm acting this way is because it's like people create their own stories. Like, this isn't fan fiction, people. Capcom said that in their own. When you go to the little canon section, yeah, she's at Louisiana. Okay, then why don't we use her then? Then we have Clancy and all these other people
And
doing this
see,
whole ghost hunting kind of thing going on. But it's like, okay, we got new characters right here. So what's the point of us playing them on the cassette tape? Because spooky, because it take us back to the 2000s. Like, that's dumb. Like,
and we already talk about Clancy, and like we always said, it's like it should have just been Clancy. Clancy had more uh he had more reason to be played because it's like we had to do all this stuff to just get him out, and then oh wait, he
and
gets
then he
killed.
runs into
It's
Chris
like,
Redfield, and boom, we got it made because they were gonna go there anyway to investigate this place. He runs into Chris Redfield, and they work together. I've been cool with that, but nope, we just have this crap
we have
instead.
Ethan because Ethan is Ethan.
That's
Remember?
from the very lips of the people who made 8. You can look at that itself. Like, you remember when they were trying to show us Resident Evil 8, and then they're asked, Ethan, yeah, Ethan is
Yeah,
Ethan.
yeah, and then they try to put some background music and make it more sad. I'm like, no, he doesn't know what to say.
Because he knows how boring he is. He's just there. Um,
Ethan is. I'm like, stop.
we kind of discussed it already. Is not gender mixing, genre mixing is a blessing. Is it a blessing or a curse? I'm gonna say it depends. I think with Resident Evil it kind of works, but don't
Yeah, we
over.
did talk about this.
Yeah, but don't overdo the action in Resident Evil because it starts to
Correct.
lose. Did movies and series from Hollywood and Netflix change the perception of how people see Resident Evil? For normies, yes. For people who actually play the games, no. But unfortunately, there's more normies and tourists than we are, so that's all I got from there. Because Hollywood don't really respect the material like they should, because it became popular. They're like, we can make money off of this, and I'm like, okay, just because you can do something doesn't mean you should. If you're gonna use something, like, respect the material. Like with Devil May Cry, oh, the demons are just immigrants. Like, no, they're not. They want to eat us and kill us. Oh, Wesker's not black. He's blonde as he can be. He's David Bowie
And
ass.
what sucks is that rest his soul. He tried to really own that character, and it's like, guy, I'm sorry.
They ain't you. They
But
ain't
yeah,
you.
God bless him because that actor passed away. So
Yeah, Lance.
it was kind of interesting to see a faded a Wesker with a fade though. I'm like, why? Why do I like that?
And he has daughters. Oh, so we're ignoring Jake.
Oh, great. So
His,
he got more seeds
his,
now, huh?
his gender baby. We're gonna forget about gender. Anywho, next one. What are the strengths, weaknesses, impressions of each of these games have on us? Um, Starting from Resident Evil 1 through 3, I like them is because it's about survival, it's about item management, getting to know the lay of the lands, and then Resident Evil 3 was like the ending point of a chapter of this is goodbye to Raccoon City. Even though Capcom were like, no, the final chapter is Code Veronica, I'm like, no. Resident Evil 3 is the final chapter. Claire left from United States to Europe to find her brother in the European headquarters of Umbrella to try to find where Chris is, and she ended up being in prison. And one of the three founders is like property, like it was the Ashfords. The Ashfords were one of the three people who created Umbrella, and then the siblings took care of that one. Code Veronica, this was like, oh, we're teaming up together to deal with Umbrella, and then they destroy that with Resident Evil 4. It's like, okay. I enjoyed 4, like I mentioned before. I don't regret buying it or playing it. I just feel like it was the Final Fantasy VII of the franchise, and I knew it was going to ruin the franchise by making it more mainstream. 5 kind of killed it by making it more action-oriented. You can bulk up items. 6, they just put a knife in, they put a fork in it. It's like, we're going to make it dramatic horror and do all this dumb crap with it. And 7 is like, oh, we remember Resident Evil 1, so let's just do a soft reboot for no apparent reason because according to Angry Joe, we need new faces. I'm like, well, really, Joe? There's this game called Outbreak that had several new faces, and we just forgot all about them.
Like what? I said, and like I told you, it's like, look, dig up the old ones, dig up the old spin-offs. I mean, what's those characters doing?
We don't know, but Capcom for some reason think they're not. If they're not important, then why you make the games in the first place? Then we get 8.
Yeah.
8, Ethan again, but people don't like that game, but they like 7. Like, what do you think was going to happen? Well, Ethan's talking a lot because he didn't talk in 7. He talked in 7. Yeah. Did he talk in 7? Because he did.
Yeah.
Like, what do you mean he doesn't talk that much? What are you talking about? Like, I played that game from beginning to end and all his difficulties, and you're telling me he does not talk? Yes, he does. We are not Ethan. Ethan is his own man, okay? You said, oh, Ethan is us. Like, no, he talks a lot in that game.
It's like, no, he's not. Like you said, no, he's not.
He talks more in 8, though, but he does talk in 7. He talked a lot more in 8. But 7, he had a personality. Go on.
The one tiny, small thing I liked is that he understood that he had feet. Okay, he's like, yes, kick them away. Yes, thank you.
And he can block. He can crouch. You know, basic things you can do in a first-person game.
I guess I appreciate that, but other than that, it's like, why are we playing this guy again?
All right, next question. What are the more effective or least effective in conveying the game's point? So basically what I'm saying here is, what did this game did to explain to itself, this is what this game's about? I think the early games did that perfectly. It's like you're trying to survive the situation. You're called on a mission, you're here, and you're trying to find out your comrades. You find out they're all dead, and you're trying to find any remaining stuff of what happened of the mansion. And that happened throughout the rest of the series. It's survival, horror, for your rescuing the I'm about to say princess, but the president's daughter. 5, you're investigating the Ouroboros, or what's going on in Africa, because you're asked for the BSAA branch of both departments, the West and East African branch, and they asked Chris to help assist them, and Sheva was the liaison to branch the two. 6, was just events happening in the United States, happening in Europe, and also later on in Asia, like China, for instance. That game was all over the place. In 7, Louisiana, oh, spooky, spooky mansion, blah, blah, snore. 8 felt like Donkey Kong. Well, 7, 8 felt like Donkey Kong Country. Got the big house. The central hub is Zoe's trailer. Then you got the garden. Then you got the psychopath's little barnyard dungeon thing. Then you got the cruise liner, and then you got the salt mines. At 8, it was definitely felt like Donkey Kong Country. You got the village, the castle level. You got the swamp level. You got the dollhouse. You got the factory. Then you got the deep dark cave. It's like, wow. Can this be any more video gamey? If you collect the 4 pieces, not the Triforce, that's 8 pieces, of your daughter, you get to open up the door to beat the final boss. So it felt way too like, combine the 4 pieces. Go here, go there, and that's sort of what happens. Outbreak felt a little more like the classical Resident Evil games. Those are, I guess, not mainline, but they're mainline now because of Requiem. Requiem, again, we can't talk much of it than what we see of it, but I have mixed feelings of it because Capcom is going to once again cater to the type of people that like Resident Evil 4. Resident Evil 4, the remakes, more than the originals. And that's not right, but that's what we're doing. Or at least Capcom is doing, and people are going along with it because they don't want to let it go. And that leads on to the next question is, should this series continue, die, end clean to pass the torch to a different series? So, should it die? Should it end clean to pass the torch? Or should it continue? What do you think? Death, continue, or pass the torch?
I would love them to pass the torch, but knowing that just saying that scares me. I'm like, ugh.
I kind of want it to die because of Capcom.
I wasn't even done.
Oh, sorry. I'm sorry.
But yeah, Rubius is tired. He doesn't want this anymore, and it's understandable because it's like, dude, this thing has run its course. Look, Raccoon City is now gone.
It's been gone.
And look, we still don't know what. And see, that's another thing. Clean this stuff up. That's you and I say. Clean this stuff up because I'm like, look, what's the connections? What's this? What's that? Why is that? Who's the family?
But that's why I wanted to end because they'll never do that. It's like, why are we going back to Raccoon City? The one who created Resident Evil 3, he was interviewed and he even said that Raccoon City is wiped off the map. There's nothing to go to. And then when he got interviewed, he was like, did they get a time machine or something? Because it said in the game, as I own the original, it says Raccoon City is wiped off the map. There's nothing there. So why is there rubble? It's wiped off. It doesn't exist. There was a big ass bomb dropped on it. So why we're going back? Retcon, that's why, because we want to capitalize on it. And I'm like, you know what? Just kill the series. Just kill it because they don't care. It's like you brought up the connection in 7. Then we got 6 with the family because apparently Simmons, he's part of this aristocratic family that was been in the United States for over 100 years or something like that, or almost 200. So they have a foothold, but I felt like that it was just been pulled out of their asses. Like we never heard about them until now. And then after we killed Derek Simmons, who was the patriarch of the family, we never hear from him ever again. It's gone. So that's that. And then 7, we just get the Bakers, but the Bakers are more like victims because of the connection. And according to Capcom's own website, the connection made dealings with Wesker in the past. I don't know if Mia was still with them during that time, but they sold bioweapons to Wesker back in the day. So they weren't great people. So there's that. And then 8, 7, they brought up Blue Umbrella if you're playing the free DLC with Chris Redfield. They never really expanded on that either. It's like we're just Blue Umbrella and we're trying to, show that we're not like the old Umbrella. But I'm like, why create this different group? We have all these different groups of people.
And I want you guys to understand this ain't nitpicking. It's just we're just asking them, where are you guys going with all this?
It's like people just want new. I'm like, okay, you got a bunch of new things. Are we gonna finish their stories? Like we don't finish Jill's story, Krista's story, Claire's story, Leon's story, Billy's story. We ain't gonna forget about him, and Rebecca's, and like, did any of these characters got closure? Like, did they? Because we don't know I'm sorry.
There's some speculation. Yeah, it's fine. There's some speculation that they're gonna remake Zero. I'm like, I wouldn't be mad about a DLC of what happened to Billy.
You're echoing a bit.
I am.
Yes, you are.
How about now?
You're still echoing.
How about now?
You still are. Well, we'll just get through it. It wasn't echoing before, but anywho,
Still echoing?
Yes, you are. Unless, of course, it's the video, or either it's you, or is that you have the video in Discord. Like, I don't know. Like, speak again.
I've already muted it.
Well, maybe it will come to pass, but we are recording. But anyway, let me see. Next question.
Hold on, everyone.
We went from that.
What now?
What we like, love, and hate or care less for each of these games. We kind of went through that when we were talking about them the other time we did a stream.
I mean, we can go thorough, because...
Okay, the other one is, should we care about the non-mainline games like Survivor or Gaiden?
We just talked about that too.
Yeah, we don't have to.
But if they're gonna start like going to a bag of Resident Evil and they go, oh, let's pick this character, then now they all matter,
Personally, I want Capcom to make their games available. I don't care how bad they are. I want them to be available so people can access them. That's all that matters to me. Is people.
By the way, this isn't a advertisement, but you can get all 3 Resident Evils on GOG.com. This is not an advertisement. I'm just telling you guys. If you want it.
Okay. We kind of discussed why we liked about this series. It was just we're putting in a situation where it's like, instead of watching the horror movie, we're part of the horror. That we have to ration what we have, the herbs, the ammo, interact with the monsters, like find a way to deal with them, interacting with the characters if they're survive long enough. How this affects each character, because Jill and Chris have different perspectives, but I think that Chris is canon, right? I think they'd say his ending is canon for some reason.
Oh, yeah.
In canon for Resident Evil 2, it's Claire A and Leon B. That they said that's canon. Canon for Resident Evil 3, Nikolai survives. He escaped from the helicopter. Jill, of course, kills Nemesis, and a big bomb dropped when after Barry Burton saved them. They got the distress signal from the abandoned power plant. Then you see at the end that Carlos was waving the sticks, glow sticks, whatever, to alert the helicopter pilot who was buried. They picked him up. They escaped. They watched the bomb drop and wiped out the entire city. Code Veronica, which I got was Code Veronica X because the original one came on the Dreamcast. And other cutscenes, you get introduced by Steve. Then finally, the siblings reunite because you never saw them together until this game, which is interesting. They're finally together, so that was the first time we saw the siblings together. But we never learn about their parents until the remake says their parents are dead. But we never got that confirmation all from the games until the remake. So that's what I appreciate that game at least, because they said they're dead. But we also learned that Barry and Chris were friends since the Air Force, and it was Barry Burnett introduced Chris to Stars. So there's that. And they established the BSAA. The main headquarters is in Europe, and then the others is America, North America, South America, East and West Africa. There's one in Italy. There's one in Japan. I believe there's one in Russia. I think I'm missing some, but the BSAA are everywhere. I think there's comic books of their adventures too. But yeah, they have a lot of content, yet not a lot of people know about it because the games don't explain so much. I think the ones went a little deep into it was Revelations 1 and 2. More like 1, because 1 we dealt with the BSAA. With the second game was more like one half is BSAA because of Barry, but the other half was TerraSave, the people that Claire worked with, and we found out, her boss happens to be an employee of the main antagonist of the first Revelation game. Landau, I believe his name was, who's the reason why the terrorist group happened in the first place. But yeah, that was a thing. The thing I had issue with the story was that it wasn't consistent. It's like they keep going one way and they go another way. It's like someone suffering from ADHD. It's like, this is boring, next. This is boring, next. This is boring, next. This is boring, next. And they can't just stay the course. It's like, okay, let's stick with these characters and finish them. Let's not get new characters because we're bored with these characters. And it's like, but the money's going to come. Let's finish up their stories, then we get to move on. It's like, we don't have to go back to these characters because their conclusion is over. Like, their problem has been solved, but it's not like that. It's like, we know what happened to Billy. We don't know if Rebecca and Billy ever reunited. We still know what happened to Jill, and I'm not counting the movies because that's just stupid. Like you brought up before, we don't know what happened with the people of Outbreak. They keep focusing on Alyssa than the other people, so I know what happened with them. We don't know about Carlos because I doubt he works for Umbrella anymore because he was a mercenary at the time under Umbrella's payroll. Nikolai, we don't know where he is. He's alive. Or Jessica, because Jessica was working for Excelia at the time. We know what happened to Excelia, but Jessica, we don't know what happened to her. Or, I think his name is Nicholas, the one with the bright red hair. He's alive too. He was a double agent, or a triple agent, I guess. We know what happened to Alex Wesker. Alex Wesker. Wesker's sister, but they don't know what to do with this. Like, okay, now she's in Natalia's body in some way, but they're not going to do anything with that. That's just left under the dark. Wesker is definitely officially dead, but then we get Jake, and Jake is in some Middle Eastern country somewhere eating a red apple, but we're not going to do anything about him.
Punching and kicking and stuff. We're like, we can't have that? Okay, cool.
And then I brought it before. No mentioning of the family because they said the older brother of of Derek took over the family. The family is not dismantled. Neither is Neo Umbrella. Neo Umbrella was never mentioned at all in 7. It's like, oh, that's old news now, so let's move on.
That's
Which is weird.
and then there's that going back to 6. It's that we also had a playable Sherry. So I'm like, why is no one talking about that?
Yeah, she's a 28-year-old CIA agent. And her adopted father happens to be Derek Simmons. Like, really, Claire? Of all the people, why him? But okay. That's something, I guess. But she gets to go to the best schools out there, but it's interesting that her adopted daughter was also the same one that's putting him down, but okie dokie. And they're like, oh, he was the one who told the president to push the button to drop the bomb of Umbrella. I'm like, why that? That's just so oddly specific. It's like, oh, he's the reason why that happened. Which is rather odd, like, okay, so you're putting it all on Simmons. Okie doke. Looks like we went through all the topics pretty quickly. Oh, 2 left are missing. One is Shinji Mikami, the director and assumed creator, versus Kenichi Iwao, writer and true creator. That's what I put in. I put versus is because Mikami wanted to make Resident Evil like Mega Man, and Capcom like no. They did bring out Iwao. He was, what did they call him? Yeah, I think he was the story board like manager or something. Like, it was a senior position, so his position was just as important as Shinji was. Shinji was responsible for the FMVs with the bad acting and the live action that we saw, so that was on him. And he did apologize because they didn't like it, but the American audience did, and he thought that Resident Evil was a B movie because of that. But the thing is, the actors, it wasn't that they were terrible, they just weren't given any real direction of what this was supposed to be. So I can't really blame it on them, because they're like, okay, what is this? And he didn't really explain it to them. So that's what I'll say about that. But Iwao didn't get the credit that he deserved for writing the story that we know today of Resident Evil 1 and possibly 2, but he left because he got tired of Capcom's crap, and he migrated to Square Soft, which is now Square Enix. So that's why the story of this game is all over the place, because they had too many different writers off and on, and it's like, okay, what's the real story? What do we have to look forward to? So but the thing is, we're never going to get closure with that, because people just want to get away. They say, oh, it's a video game, why are we worrying about it? Well, you have to worry about it, because we have the mess we have now. Because, like, I think the YouTuber Under the Mail interviewed the man who created Resident Evil 3, and when he mentioned to him about Requiem, he was confused, like, what do you mean the remnants of Resident Evil 3? That city's wiped off the map. It said that at the end of the game. What, they get a time machine and change things? Because he's like, why are you going back? There's nothing there. But yeah, and lastly, does politics and representation really matter in gaming? There wasn't a lot of that in Resident Evil, but this is sort of like, in general, when it came to gaming, I would say, no, we don't need to have representation, because what does that do? It's like you're not there to identify yourself, you're there to be plunged into a story and see where it goes. It's not about me or you. It's about, like, what are we observing, what we're seeing. And I don't think that we need to connect real world application to video games. I mean, we can, but I don't think it's that important. But for apparently over time, people are like, oh, there's not a lot of black people in games. And I look at them, I'm like, so you want to see more black people get killed in video games? Is that what you're saying? Because that's the reputation you're going to get. Because I kill a lot of white people in games, and am I a racist? It's like, not really. They're trying to kill me. They're out of my way, and I don't even think about skin color. I was just playing a game, but people are so obsessed with seeing themselves in everything, and I don't do that. It's just like story, effective. It doesn't have to be like a complex story. It's just, okay, I can get along with this. The characters are cool. The scenery is cool. I like the music. I like the pacing. And you got me. But it's not like, if it has black people in it, I'm good. If it's someone who talks like me, acts like me, has my politics, it's good. It's like, no. That's not how I view media. So what's your take on those matters? Because it's like, that's why we have bad art and bad media, because it's like you're appeasing to many people and this is what you get.
About the whole politic thing, I mean, I wouldn't mind if they did like a Godzilla route, because Godzilla, as you know, was talking about the pollution and all that, and it got really like. Well, I hope I'm making sense. It's like
It was more than
because
just pollution, it was radiation from the bombings of Hiroshima and Nagasaki, but yeah, we could say
now
pollution.
when it comes to Resident Evil, it could have told us how the awfulness of big corporations, but they
Yeah,
didn't do
that's what I thought it was going to be, because Umbrella was a pharmaceutical company before it became what it was.
exactly.
And
And
I
it's like I thought it was gonna be like that politic, because I'm like, because we all know that, like, look, this stuff could be real. Well, not the zombie part, but you know what I mean.
Well, the thing is, they weren't even trying to make zombies at first. They're trying to make ways
Exactly.
to make you younger
Skincare.
or generation, and then they got that instead. So they weaponized it. So it was unintentionally became that. The
Yeah.
only thing I think was cool with 5, we get to see where the T virus came from those flowers. In that, I think, I forgot what chapter it was when you find that base with Chris
Yeah.
and Sheva, but that's where they found the very thing that created the virus in the 50s, because they were around for almost for more than 50 years. And there were a pharmaceutical company made by founded by 3 people: James Marcus, Oswald Spencer, and I believe it's Alexander Ashford, because that's the father of Alexia and Alfred Ashford. So they created this thing, and then it was sort of like pure accident that it's like, oh, we can use this as a bioweapon. And that's what happened. And they got enough money to buy out an entire town, Raccoon City. Among other things, they built underground labs. They went as far as they didn't even try to experiment on its own townspeople too, which is really fucked up. They even went as way to make, like I said, stars as just guinea pigs to see whether or not their experiments are effective enough to deal with a bunch of people or skilled enough to handle situations. So it's just, okay, so this pharmaceutical company has their own militia. They have a foothold at all in not only in North America but also in Europe and even areas in Africa. That's where they got the flowers for the virus, and then James Marcus created the leeches, which was the prototype of the progenitor virus, and then it was William Birkin that officially stole the idea from James Barker, who was his former teacher, along with Wesker. They assassinated him, and then they developed the T virus and the G virus, as well as the Nemesis virus. It's just, the thing is, the story was very simple. It was steamrolling, and I was going along with it. But then they just get weird. It's just they're trying to go as crazy as possible to get an audience. But I'm like, you don't have to do that. So they get an evil corporation. We get that because we have plenty of those in the United States. And you did mention this, and they can just use that. But they did is just got bored and move on to something else. Like, no, keep it simple. You had something going, and then they just dropped like a hot potato. So now we can move on to rants, and I briefly described the whole spiders, birds missing in these games. I'm like, when did arachnophobia become so popular? I still remember introducing you to that chat I read in Steam about, like, can you remove the spiders? And I'm like,
Well, okay,
why?
hold on. The bigger context is this. Somebody found a way to remove spiders, and it's actually a well done mod, but the thing is that why get rid of them? And the fact of the matter that if you guys go to the comments section, there's a guy that's trying to die on the hill saying that, well, look, I can't play. You never have crippling fear that every time you see a spider, you collapse. And look, that's sad. Don't get us wrong. But see, now, Rubius is going to tell you why this is not good. Go ahead.
It's not good is because it defeats the whole purpose of why we're scared of these things in the first place, because horror in general is dealing with taboos. It's about how you deal with your fear. We have a thing called fight or flight. Either you fight it or you flee from it. And these type of games push us in a situation where you're dealing with things that will scare the shit out of you, like whether it's dogs, mutant plants, giant spiders, we got snakes, we got bees, zombies, giant sharks. As Jaws scared a lot of people back in the day. People actually, when they saw that movie, they didn't want to go to a beach for weeks because of it. But like, that didn't stop people from watching Jaws 2 and 3. But the thing is if we don't deal with our fears as little by little, it's going to consume us. I mean, that's why I'm into it, because like, I just want to know where my limit is or what I can deal with, and I'm just fascinated about my reaction and how I feel about it. It's like, okay, I guess I'm good at item management and surviving in these games because I enjoy them. I also love the puzzles. But like, the thing is, in Resident Evil games, you can run away from almost every single spider in the game. Like, you don't have to fight them at all. Like, and birds, you can usually run away from them. You don't have to shoot them. Like, most of the time, I run from them, not because I'm scared, because I'm trying to save bullets for the most part. But it's just weird that the modern Resident Evil games, like the remakes, not a single spider. The last time I saw a bird in the modern Resident Evil game, I think it was Resident Evil 8, and I think Resident Evil 4 remake, and that was it. Like, the rest of the remakes, I didn't see a single spider or bird, and they pretty much removed those insects, the demo discs or whatever they were called, and the brain suckers are two variations of them, but then they combine them into one things in the third remake where they deep throat Jill's throat with that nasty animation kind of thing. It's like,
Yeah, I mean,
really?
yeah, that was gross, but it's like you said, it's like, dude, this ain't.
And it was
Honestly,
a forced
yeah.
cutscene too, so you had to deal with it. You had to use that herb, otherwise you won't get that achievement if it says don't use herb, because it's impossible. You have to use it. Stupid. But like, why did they remove both those monsters?
To tell you the truth, though, it's that didn't really scare me.
It did. It was just irritating. Like, okay, that's the thing.
it's no, it didn't scare me. I'm right. It's like ugh.
It was more irritating than anything else because in that area, that's the only time you see them, and they all and they're infinite amount of them. They'll never die. It's like they'll keep coming. Like you can kill them, but they'll keep responding. So you have to go through the entire place, try to find whatever you need to find. It's like, why do they do this? And that's the same area you get the lockpicks, like outside of it. It's like, this is where you get the lockpicks. You can't get her lockpicks. You can't go to the police station. It's like, why did they change that? And it's just unnecessary changes. Or leads to another rant with mine with, who were responsible for these radical changes. I have to say it's the corporate people, the corporate side of Capcom chain were responsible because they see easy money and they want to capitalize off of it and they didn't care about the fans. The same goes with the whole tank control, fixed camera angles over versus over the shoulder and camera control. It's like the reason why I didn't like tank controls at first and still don't is because it makes your character feel so stiff at times. But like at the same time, I did like the fixed camera angles because of the whole framing and dynamics, because it shows you like, okay, this area is important, and I like how they handle that. But the tank controls sometimes reverse your controls because it dictates how you move around. Because if you move from one screen to another screen, if you move at a certain point, I think when it transitions, it reverses your controls. And it happened to me a lot in the older games, especially in the remake. It did happen in the Steam version as well too. It was really annoying. But like, it's just the game went through so many changes. It's hard to like, okay, that's why I asked the question, what is Resident Evil? But it's all an interpretation. Like, don't give me that. Like, what's the real Resident Evil? Please stand up. Like, this isn't Slim Shady. Like, just lay it down with me. Is it still a sci-fi survival horror? And why? And then here's another thing: is watered down horror games to appease tourists and normies. I wrote that as a rant in this section. Say yes. I say yes. And I think they water it down to try to get a wider audience. But again, it's like you don't have to do that. It's like that movie. Fill the Dreams. When you build it, they will come. There's a market for people out there for these type of games. So why do we have to appease a bunch of people when the work will be done for them? It's like, okay, Onimusha, samurais killing demons, that sounds cool. But because of Devil May Cry, it didn't get a lot of publicity. But that's not Devil May Cry's fault. It's like, not everybody's going to be into the things that we like, and that's fine. Like, you, for instance, are more into beat-em-ups than I am, but you don't have to make me like beat-em-ups.
Shooters.
And shooters, yeah, boomer shooters, to be more precise.
Yeah.
But you don't have to make me like those games because there's just something for everybody. And that's fine, but it's like you don't have to make a popular video game appealing to everyone. It's like with Silk Song. The only reason why that game is so popular is because of streamers, like popular, physically attractive streamers playing the game, and I don't think a lot of them even played the original Hollow Knight, and I played and beaten Hollow Knight before the DLC, and I got it like a year after it came out in 2018. The game came out in 2017. With Resident Evil, it's the same way. I got the game before it became mainstream. Same goes with Onimusha. Same goes with like, I remember with Resident Evil 4, Resident Evil 4 got more publicity than any of the Resident Evil games I ever played. You probably remember more of Resident Evil 4 than anything else because the way Capcom pushed it so hard, advertised. Like, even Shinji Mikami, I believe, wrote the story of that game too. I think that's the only one that it says in the documents that yeah he wrote the story of Resident Evil 4 because he wanted to make it more action. It's like oh no one really cared about Resident Evil 1 remake. It's like says you because that game got it literally got the best remake award and I agree. But according to it didn't sell well.
We forgot something. Recently they said that the new ones are going to be replacing the old one, the old story.
And they're going to call it canon, I believe. You're going along with this too.
It's like, great. So, that's what we do now, huh?
Yeah, let's erase history. Oh, you're trying to be communist China? Capcom is, let's destroy all what it was and replace it with this new history because we like it better.
We're too lazy to actually do something, so we're going to do that.
And the thing is, they have the money to hire developers to help them, right? I mean, Capcom asked for Square to help them. No, they asked Square to help them with Breath of Fire, because people need to remember that Breath of Fire was Capcom's baby, but they asked Square to help them because Capcom was not very experienced with RPGs. So yeah, they understand their limitations. Like, oh, can you help us out? Like, oh, sure. It's not the first time they did that because Nintendo did that with Square. So, oh, can you help us with Mario RPG? Yeah, sure, we'll help you. That's what they used to do. So it's like, if you're too lazy to make this consistent, then you can just hire another gaming company to assist you. They did that in the 90s, then I think they still did it in the 2000s.
We will not be mad at you. It's like, look, okay, cool.
We thought it was cool that they did. Oh, yes, cool, you're collaborating. Artists collaborate all the time. They used to do that. Directors used to collaborate. I mean, that's the thing. Like, you share ideas and then you create something beautiful. I mean, it happens. I think that's what Mikami did with The Evil Within. I think he collaborated. And he got help to make The Evil Within. So it's not something that's new or something that's taboo. It's like, why would it be taboo? This is common business practice that you can help sponsor each other. So it's just weird that that was their approach. Ready answer, will this franchise be restored as former glory? I'm going to say no because the corporate heads are so much control of it because they're not letting their creators do their thing. And they're pretty much beholden to them. If they don't listen to them, they pretty much get fired. That's pretty much what Microsoft is doing. The modern audience myth, it's like, who are these games appealing to now? Like, if you're removing the horror elements of it, then, or trying to water them down, then who are you appealing to? Because the ones who cared about the franchise since 1996 are the ones that actually appreciate the games, are the ones that started a little later or much later, but then grow to love it over time. But as you said just now, that we're going to rewrite history, and I'm like, good luck with that, because I own all the copies of the old Resident Evil games, so good luck trying to convince people that, oh, we decide what goes on. I'm like, right, Capcom. Then explain to us about Outbreak. You know what? They're going to remake Outbreak then? Because how are you going to explain Alyssa Ashcroft in Requiem? Because you can't rewrite history without mentioning Outbreak. Are you going to are you going to give us access to those, or are you going to remake those too? So if you're going to pull that crap with us, then you need to clean everything. You think they're going to do that? Because I have my doubts. Oh, you're going to go there? Okay, then. I'll be your Huckleberry. So, are you going to clean up everything? Everything? Are you sure? I don't think so. I'm sorry to interrupt you, but it's like, really? Are you going to remake every single one of them? Not just the popular ones, because if you're going to say that, you better do it, but they're not going to. They're going to do all the popular ones first. They skip over Code Veronica for 4. Why? I know why specifically, but like, it's like, don't you want to know what happened to Claire's? Because it was 6 months after 2 and 3, so it's like, you could have done Code Veronica, but we gotta do actual work. Like, oh, but this game made us a lot of money, so that's why we're choosing. It's like, really? It's almost predictable that they're gonna do that, but it's just, come on, no. But they literally have to clean. They have to go to every single one of those games, and when they rewrite history, their history is 2, 3, 4, and 8, and I guess 7 too. They're gonna, like, first what they did with Resident Evil 6 was, we're the adults, they're the children, and we know what's best for them. That's what the director of Resident Evil 6 said to a gaming journalist when it came to Resident Evil 6. That game did not sell well at all, and when that happened, there was total radio silence from his director. He didn't say shit. You said this most condescending thing out in public, and then you act surprised that no one cared about his game. It's like, really, dude? You were condescending to the gamers, and now you're surprised that that game didn't sell well? Then they have the nerve to act as if, oh, that didn't exist. That didn't exist. I don't know what you're talking about. It's like, no, I own the copy of Resident Evil 6. I got a hard copy of it along with the keys to the other Resident Evil games. You can't say, oh, that's not true. I just say, yes, it is. I think it was an interview. Was it from... It was a Rock Paper Shotgun. I think it was either Kotaku or IGN, one of those two. They interviewed this man, and he said that. He said that as if not only it was true, that he was so confident. Oh, we know it's more than the fans. I'm like, really? After he said, I haven't seen him again. Like, I try to see where his name is. I haven't seen him in any other Resident Evil. Because every single one had different directors, different writers. And I'm like, why is there a musical chair of writers in this franchise? It's so weird. Like, when I look at Persona games, in Persona, they have the same director from since 1 to 5. Keep that in mind, Jet. This guy has been working on... He's the same guy that also worked on Shin Megami Tensei. He's been with Persona since the very first one. Directing, writing, and even getting people who are doing the music. So I'm like, he's been there since day one. And they don't have a since day one writer. They're all different. Shin Megami only wrote the story of one game. That was 4. But he didn't... But even though he came up with the concept of 1, his story sucked. But ever since then, is his musical chair of writers after writers after writers. And I'm like, now you have the gall to say, oh, the remakes are it's like, are you pulling a Carla now? I'm the real Resident Evil because I'm shinier. So they're Carla for Resident Evil 6. I'm the real Ada Wong. I'm like, right, you made a virus to give yourself cosmetic surgery to look like a woman of the man you're attracted to, but even when you did that, he still wasn't interested in you. So you changed your appearance and he still did not want you, Carla. So you took revenge on Simmons just for that. I'm like, okay, Capcom. Okay. Alright. Physical copy versus digital copy. Where's your thoughts on that?
It doesn't really bother me, but if if someone's gonna like take it away from me, even though I bought it, then I get mad. But other than that, it doesn't hurt me too much. I mean, when copyrights go out, okay, that sucks. But here's the thing, though, is that look, if that's the case, then you guys need to start stepping your game up when it comes to copyright.
My issue
Because
is it just feels like it's a matter of control. That they want people to do digital gaming so they can control the games themselves, but I'm like, why? You just buy a game and you get your money. What more do you need? It's like this obsession of power and this obsession of dominating other people, and it's just really goofy and childish and very cartoonish. It's like, what do you guys want? And noticing this with Nintendo too, it's like, we bought your game, you got the money, you have fans, so why are you crapping on us? And then back then, like I remember when people made mods for games, I remember a lot of developers loved that. It's like, oh, they went out of their way to create this. And now they're like, don't mod our games. Like, why? When we buy your game, we're doing what we want. We're not like selling it to people. It's just like they're showing their appreciation, but it's just not anymore. It's stupid. And I guess it leads on to the other thing is, I think we kind of answered this question a while ago. Is, why is this franchise suffering from an identity crisis? And it's like greed. They just chase the next bandwagon. Oh, look, third-person shooters is popular. Let's make Resident Evil 5 like a first-person shooter. A third-person shooter, excuse me, because it's the most popular thing around.
and what sucks is that it's a love and hate for me because I've been wanting that, but it's like I don't like. But I'm with you. I'm like, why you do it like that though? It's like,
And then there's obsession with co-op, but I'm like, okay, but Resident Evil's been traditionally a first-person game.
and then what's
However,
hilarious, they did it right on with Revelations 2, and it's like, okay, so you guys can do stuff right. So what's going on here?
but not only that, they go even a step further. They started even as early as I think it was Outbreak 2, where you can team up with other people to play each of these characters. That you have to work together. I mean, that was a feature. I think Sphere Hunter talked about this, and she was stressing much about this. Like, this is our opportunity to play a online Resident Evil game, and Capcom
Yeah.
just missed an opportunity. You're playing. It's literally Left 4 Dead before Left 4 Dead. That's what Outbreak was, and Capcom didn't do that.
And I couldn't agree with you more. It's like, look, y'all, if you guys wanted to make online stuff, y'all could have made that. But oh, we got Operation Raccoon City and shit. And we're like, what's this?
Like, they were literally doing the Blockbuster rap. Blockbuster existed long before Redbox and Netflix. Like, they could have had something, but they did. It's like, who's going to do stream services? Right. And look what we have now. Netflix, Hulu, Tubi, which is free with commercials, Paramount Plus, Disney Plus, which is ass. Like, we have all these streaming services, and the first one to do it was Blockbuster, and they didn't want to do it because the CEO had his head up his ass. It's like, who's going to care about this? First, they want to be like GameStop, and they sucked at it, and then they were going to be a streaming service too, but then they just like, who wants to watch their videos at home? I'm like, are you stupid? I'm doing it right now. Like, like, what the hell? Like, really Blockbuster? And that's what Capcom did. Capcom had a gold mine. And they didn't utilize, because why? It's just too much work. Did it take work to make a video game? Like, I'm sorry, but doesn't it take a couple of years or a few years to make a video game? Is that not work? Like, what? But it's like they're like Blockbuster. They had something, and they just like, who wants to do that? It's like, me. other people
But
that
yeah, once
know.
again, it does kind of bother me that since you brought that up, it's like we're all like, what is this? And why is this?
It could have worked, but they didn't give it a chance to work. They just let it die. They didn't want to take any risks whatsoever. Um. Okay, next thing is following trends, unbridled greed, incompetence ruining not only this franchise but other Capcom titles and other AAA companies doing the same thing. We pretty much talked a little bit about that. What they're doing on Monster Hunter, Dead Rising, what they're doing with the recent Onimusha 2 remaster. It's like they censor it to censor it. Why and for whom? Um, it's just, why make these decisions and who are they for? And people already created mods to try to get rid of the censorship, but the fans shouldn't have to do that. It's like, if people are going to get offended, they're going to get offended. Like, grow up. Like, I don't care. And then down here is what we talked about briefly is zero access to other RE titles and lack of preservation of these titles and other classical games. Nintendo leaned this behavior hard. That's in parentheses. It's like, I want to have access to all of Capcom's library, but I can't even play Bionic. I can't even play Bionic Commando Rearm 2 or the original Bionic Commando.
Hmm.
It's not even there's not even a collection of that anywhere, isn't there? Of Capcom
Nope.
Nintendo games, not one. Well, except for I guess Mega Man, I guess, but that's that's basically it. It's like I want to play their other stuff. I want to play the original Resident Evil, unless of course I go to GOG for that 1, 2, and 3. I guess the same goes for Dino Crisis as well, too, 1 and 2. And even Breath of Fire, like, we see 4 and they're finally putting 3, or later on 3 on there, but not 1, 2, or even 5, Dragon Quarter. Like, they have an array of all these franchises that people can reach, and a lot of these games are blocked by Nintendo. And we both know how extremely aggressive Nintendo is when it comes to people playing their games and yet refuse to give people access to these games, which makes no freaking sense. So, yeah, we went through that pretty quickly, but is there anything else you want to bring up as a rant to get through? Because the one thing I didn't bring up is anti-intellectualism and the absence of critical thinking. But that's kind of like, not just in gaming, but anything else where it's just we make a game where you don't have to think. And I'm like, well, we have games that do that. A lot of Nintendo games were like that, and that's fine, but I don't want a lot of games to do that.
Yeah.
I want to think.
Even I know that. It's like, yeah, don't do that because you guys haven't I haven't told anybody I am making a game, but it's like it's stuff like that I think about as well because I'm like then again I want the player to know who they are and what they are. So
And that's the thing that was so refreshing about Resident Evil. It was very simple like that. You are a elite a SWAT team. You're specialized with this. This is your name. It was very simple. It wasn't obscure. It wasn't, nothing was hiding. Well, the plot you're trying to figure out, but it was just, it gave you basic things like, okay, now go play. That was it. And like, it allows you to think and try to build things together, but didn't insult the player. But now it's like, oh, we need to put some yellow paint here so you know where you're going. No, let me get lost. Let me figure out where I'm going. Like Resident Evil 1, they didn't hold your hand. You got a map. You have to find it, of course. When it's red, that means you're missing something in the room. If it's gray, it means you've never been in the room. If it's blue, you clean up the entire area. They gave you hints.
yeah,
like
I
that.
actually like. Yeah, see that concept right there actually worked out very well because it's like I like that.
And what Resident Evil 2 Remake did, it did the same thing except for if you found the item, it actually says a herb, first aid spray, and valve wheel. It actually marks what the item is in the room. And in Resident Evil Zero, which I didn't mention, is I didn't like each room has an has an item capacity. But if you go on your map in Resident Evil Zero, if you click on it, it tells you each of the items in this room. So technically, Zero started that. I think where you click on the map, it tells you what items in this room. It's like, okay, where is the canteen to make more Molotov cocktails? You can click on the map. It's like, oh, it's in this room, and that's cool. In the original Resident Evil, you couldn't do that, but later games you can do that. So I like that. They're keeping notes, and to some extent,
and it's stuff like
gone.
and it's stuff like that that makes it like makes these games really great. And then we got a swimming mechanic, and it's like, oh, so that's what we're.
That was
And
in
then they just
Revelations 1, and it did that very well. I didn't have problems with the swimming mechanics in Revelations 1.
and then it just fell again.
It's like
It's like,
they got scared and they moved on. It's like,
well, not really. They just said, oh, let's add more. Let's put some action into it. It's like, oh, come on.
oh yeah, they brought it back in Resident Evil 6. I forgot, with Leon and oh my god, Helena. Remember when we had to go to that ruins and we had to go through that underwater? We had to rise up to get some oxygen and then swim through, and then we had to fight
Yep.
that mutant shark. Yeah, they brought back the swimming mechanics, but I think I like the Revelations controls a bit more.
Yeah.
6 did too much. They're trying to be too much.
And then that actually made me mad because I'm like, I'm actually liking this, but you guys are just doing some weird stuff.
they're just going all
It's
over
like,
the place. Like, dude, just relax, calm down. You don't need all this crap. Like, it's fine.
look, we like this, but y'all just doing too much. Way too much.
Because that game was
What?
the epitome of identity crisis. Like, what is this? Dramatic horror. Here's your chocolate ice cream, your vanilla ice cream, your strawberry ice cream. Like, no. This is not a campaign, but they call it a campaign. Leon's campaign, Chris's
Yeah.
campaign, Jake's campaign, and then there's Ada Wong when you unlock her after beating all 3 people. I'm like, no.
Oh, and you forgot one. And then her partner, soldier dude.
Yeah, that has a mask. Like, totally not hunk. Nope, not at all.
But see, that actually makes it worse too. 'Cause I'm like, put hunk. Don't give us generic soldier one. I'm like, put hunk.
But then it doesn't make any sense because Ada works alone. She doesn't like working with people.
Well, that
Unless she
too,
has
but
to.
it's like,
But it's like, if you're gonna put a guy that looks like Hunk, make it be Hunk. Alright?
yeah. But yeah, I hear what you mean too, because it's like, look, Ada works alone, but it's like, who's this guy? Who's generic man one?
And it's weird though, it's like you had Hunk in Resident Evil 2, then you had Hunk as a playable character in Mercenaries in 4. Just put Hunk in a game.
Yeah.
And he's also with the rival of Nikolai, from what I read about, so where's that gonna happen? I guess never, because we'll never see it.
And like you said, it's like, dude, you guys are just doing weird stuff.
We don't need new people, because every time a new person comes around, they get thrown aside, like, oh, we need another new person again. They get bored. Like, I don't want an ADD or ADHD idiot deciding things. Like, make a character, finish them, and move on. Commit, finish, move. But they don't. It's like, I'm bored, next, I'm bored, next, I'm bored, next. You can't keep doing it all the time. Then they got bored with Ethan. Now they're going back to a character that we don't know, with who's the child of a character that we thought Capcom either forgot or didn't think existed, even though they made this character. from
All right,
Outbreak.
so the thing I was gonna say is that, look, we are eventually gonna get Outbreak, and if we don't, then this is the most worst thing they've ever done by far, because it's like, let us get this straight. You just got into your bag of Resident Evil, picked this character out, and then not explain where she came from. That's not good.
It's almost like they put a bunch of names in a basket and they shaked it and he's pulled a name so, oh, we did make this game Outbreak. Okay, let's make a sequel out of that. Like I just feel like that's what they do is they don't know what to do. They can't put a story together, so they just raffle it. It's like, oh, this is what we pulled out. Oh yeah, we almost forgot about this character. Okay, let's just. She gets a kid because reasons. Oh, what about a daddy? Oh, screw the daddy. And then it's like, but what about Jake and Six? Who cares about Jake? But we put him in the Middle East, and I thought we were gonna make a game. Oh no, we don't want to do that. Then what was the point of that ending cutscene then? Reasons. It's just they make these characters, don't know what to do with them, and then we forget about them.
Yeah,
That's
it's like, and yeah, it's like, dude, that's not a good move.
it's like why do we need new people for, and then we have them, we never see them again. Then if they become popular, we see them multiple times. I think we see more Chris than we see Jill, don't we? Yeah, he's the most seen character ever. We've seen Jill in 1, 3, 5, and Revelations 1. That's it. We've seen Chris in 1. We've seen him in Code Veronica. We saw him in 5. We saw him in 6. We saw him in 7. We saw him in 8. We saw him in Revelations 1. That's 7 games, right?
Yep.
And we only seen Jill in 3 games. That's sad. Oh, she's sick. Really? How come in the movie that they made, she's okay?
That
She cut
should
her
have
hair.
been a damn game itself. Oh, God, I'm so mad about that. I'm so
Oh,
sorry.
let's cut my hair like this hairstyle I had in Resident Evil 3 Remake. Really? No. I mean, that should have been a video game. Oh, they're trapped in Alcatraz.
Yeah.
That's a. I would play that game. I would. Like, yes, you have Jill and Leon working together. Then you have the siblings working together, and I'm like,
Yeah, and like, you like, do you know how much gold you would have got by making this a game? It's like, come on, guys.
and I don't even care. They'll do co-op. That'll be the best opportunity to have co-op.
And two, this will be the thing that we've been wanting. It's everybody.
And this is what I mean. I hate this company. They have so much gold mines, and all they want to do is stick a dynamite and then let the cave collapse itself. You never touch that gold ever again. They're like, how are we gonna make
Oh.
money? You have it.
Uh.
You have the cave. Don't you see the gold everywhere? We don't see shit.
Yep.
It's like they've been counting the money so hard they don't know how to sustain it. They had this. They
No, we don't
had
have any ideas. Like, what about that? What about it? It's not a good idea. It's not going to get us money. It's like, got it.
This
Okay,
is why
cool.
I hate Capcom so much. Not as much as EA and Activision and Ubisoft and whoever company, but they have everything they need to keep this company going forever, and they just ignore it. They used to make a lot of interesting games too, but no one really cares. It's like, where's the Street Fighter? Where's the Monster Hunter? Where's Resident Evil? The holy trinities of video games for them, I guess. Forget about Mega Man. Forget about Onimusha. Forget about Okami, which didn't need a sequel, but they're making one.
Actually, they're doing this new thing, which I still don't like is that, oh, okay, so we're out of money. What should we do? Okay, let's just make packs. Mega Man pack, go. This pack, go. There, they're happy. Now what?
What about their mascot, Captain Commando? Oh, that's right. We never
Oh,
speak of him ever again.
no, no, they did. Like, let's put them in a big beat 'em up bundle. Bye.
That's just too generous. It's like, oh yeah, here you go, bitch. Dance, shake your ass, make us some
Yep.
money. They're pimping the very thing they named her from. Captain Commando, Capcom.
Hmm.
If people don't know the origins, you know it now.
I'm still impressed that they actually made that beat 'em up bundle. I'm like, wow. You
Was it
guys
any
put all.
good?
Oh yeah. It's
Well,
like,
that's
damn.
good at least.
Now, a slight nitpick is Alien versus Predator, but hey, that's a Fox thing.
Yep, they own it.
But see, they did something very stupid. They had a fight pad, and then they started releasing Alien vs. Predator on that. We're like, wait, that doesn't make any sense.
It doesn't.
And they had another fighter pack, and guess what? Oh yeah, Punisher too. Also, the only way to get Punisher, you have to get that fighting pack. It's like you guys kind of suck at this.
Yeah, I remember you told me that before. That's still odd to me. Well, we went through everything on this list, so any new topic you want to bring up, because it's still Capcom in general, because it belongs to them. I know this is Resident Evil, but this ties to Resident Evil in a lot of ways, because this did, even though Mega Man did put them on the map, but Resident Evil really brought it home with them, including their fighting games in general. But it's like I said before, it's like they had several gold mines, but they keep collapsing these mines. It's like you're complaining about
Right.
money, but you've got money right there. Just use it. It's frustrating me. It's like, really? Right there. You can just get a pickaxe and get that gold, but they don't want to do the work. It's like, my goodness. So, you got anything? If not,
The thing
then
is that what's the goal? I mean, the goal is money. We all get that, but it's like, what's the actual goal?
I mean, do they love video games anymore? Like, that's the thing I want to know is, do they love video games? I mean, the money
And
will
look,
come.
if there's a reason why they're not releasing the game, please let us know. Because us going like us in the dark, it's like,
I don't
look,
want conspiracy
sometimes they don't-
theories. Just tell us, you know?
Yeah. It's like, oh, we can't do it because of this, that, and this. Okay, I get that. And it's like, okay, yeah. But don't just say, we don't want to, and people didn't want it, and blah, 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 because don't even get me started on that statement, because you already know my anger towards that. Oh, we didn't think people wanted this. It's like, that's because you don't pay attention.
Square said that same excuse with Final Fantasy VII Remake. Who wants to play Resident Evil Remake? Like the most popular Final Fantasy game or game in human history. That it literally made it so that it was literally the first mainstream video game in the world. And you're telling us, like, who wants to play a remake of this classic?
I'm like,
Like,
okay.
are you high? Like, who says that? I guess Capcom and Square, apparently. Square was going downhill
But
a
yeah,
long
it
time
does
ago.
make me look at them weird too, because it's like, you guys really say that? I mean,
Capcom didn't even say, who wants to play Onimusha? They just threw that in there out of the blue, and I looked at Steam and I'm like,
no,
Onimusha's
they
on
did that.
Steam?
Yeah, about that. Look, what happened is that they're like, okay, we'll put this in. Let's see what this is called the Capcom test. They'll just throw something in and wait for it. Oh, I guess no one liked it. And then it's like, wait, hold on. Where are the other games at?
Because I don't remember even being advertised. That was so scary about it. It's like, they advertised Mega Man, they advertised Okami, but I would just stumble upon, like, Onimusha's on Steam, and then I showed it to you, it's like, it's on Steam? I'm like, yeah, do you remember it being advertised? Like, no. It
Yeah.
was just, that was weird to me.
Like,
Like, why didn't they talk about it? They didn't. Unless I missed something. That was weird to
yeah,
me.
it's like you said. It's like, okay, so
It's like they hate Onimusha that much that this, like,
it's not. I don't think it's hate. I think it's just like you said, laziness. Because it's just that's like, okay, so
and then out of nowhere, oh, let's talk about Onimusha too, because they said, oh, it made us money, so let's talk about Onimusha too now. Like it's safe to do. It's like, what do you mean it's safe? What's gonna happen? You did the same thing with Onimusha when you're gonna get capped by somebody in the hood. What are you talking about? Like, because they were like, let me go to Onimusha 2 real quick. It's just like, oh, look at these cutscenes and all this stuff. It's like, why didn't you give this love to the first game? It's like, let's send this kid out to the wilderness. Oh, you survived. Okay, you can, let's make a parade for you. But if you died, we don't mention that we threw this kid out in the wilderness on his own without no weapons. Do the Hinhachi treatment that he did to his son Kazuya in Tekken. But anyway, it's just sad what they did. It still got very positive. Like,
oh yeah. And the thing that sucks is that it does deserve it, but it's like, we like, look, you can't pull this over our eyes, bro. You really can't. Because
censorship in a 23-year-old game that's rated M is pathetic. I agree. Couldn't
and
say
oh,
it
I
better
want to
than
talk
myself.
about that.
Let's do it.
Okay, so when it came to Unimusha 2, I made a call to arms. I said, look, guys, if you want Unimusha 3, you have to buy this game. And people were like, I was like, look, buy it for a friend. Buy it. And then, like, the cool thing about it is that some guy bought it 3 times. I'm like, oh, damn. But soon after I said that, the censorship happened. And I'm like, oh my God.
I almost feel
And
like it was a trick by Capcom. It's like they're doing the whole like what's eating Gilbert Grape thing. It's like, I wonder what Arnie is. Everyone knows where he is, but pretend not to find him.
yeah.
I feel like, oh, who's gonna buy this game that we've been neglecting for 23 years?
And I felt so disgusted because it's like, I just told people to buy your game, dude. And you did this? Now
I
they're
just
not
felt
gonna
like
buy
they
it.
it just felt like they used people like you that like the game. I like the game too, so I'm not gonna put you under the bus. But it's
Yeah.
like
And it's
they
like,
used someone like you to get the money they need. It's like, well, they got their money, so they don't care.
yeah.
But that's pretty low blow, in my opinion. It's like you want people to like you, you want people to care about your franchises, and now this is what you're doing. But it's even worse now. It's like not only you use people to sell your game, now you have the audacity to censor it for no reason. Like,
Because we want to please the women. Just like, oh, okay.
even though the majority of women that played games that had scantily clad women in it didn't care. In fact, they loved it. So it's like the people who are gonna buy this game are gonna buy it. Censoring censoring in general doesn't help either because it's like, what are you doing it for? Who is it for? It's like if it's an adult, then why you need to censor it for? Think about the children. Then don't have your kids watch this movie with you, or read this book or this content if they're not mature for it. Because the first people who created censorship was the church, religion. That didn't work either because people are curious. They want to know why something is the way that it is. As matter of fact, back they didn't even let us even read the Bible back in the day. They want to keep literacy low so that they have control over the populace. But that in itself is messed up. And now it's like we're trying to protect the children and women with further feelings. And I'm like, well, you put women and children together and said they need to be protected, but I thought a woman is an adult female. So isn't she not an adult? Shouldn't she be able to make her own decisions? If she gets butthurt and what she's reading and watching, that's on her, not on us. So she needs to get over it, acting like a child, because she's not a child anymore. She's an adult. She's not a girl. She's a woman. Like a boy and a man. A man is an adult boy. So get over it. So I don't understand why we need to be over. It's like, really, Capcom? Then how come in Resident Evil 6, all I remember is ass, ass, ass. I remember Helena's ass. I remember Ada's ass. I know the circumference of their ass because I see it a lot. So you could do that. Then you have the nerve to say, oh, we're going to censor this shower scene, which is like, what, less than a minute with Oya? Like, really? Like, it's not overly sexual. It's a cutscene. If you're that shocked about that cutscene, then why'd you put the cutscene in the first place? You obviously like the female form. A lot of people do. Like, let's look at Resident Evil. What about Resident Evil 6? The sexy schoolgirl outfit that they gave to Sherry Birkin. That's still in there, is it not? That's still in there.
And I'm over here thinking it's a callback. I'm like, okay, cool. She used to have. That's cool.
Yeah, but Sherry didn't look like that when she was
know,
12 years old. Because she's 28. But it's like... And then they did the same thing with their other games. Like, they have control over... what's that game again? With the purple dildo again? That's their game too, right?
Yes.
So it's like, why did he censor that too? And Dead Rising, why you censored that? Like who are you doing this for? Like, if the women don't like it, they don't have to buy it. But the thing is, there are women that do play this game and didn't mind. So you're pretty much saying, yeah, women are children. But you can't just say that, oh, that's sexist, but then again, at the same, there are women that do act like children. I'm not saying men don't act like kids, but you're pretty much saying that they're kids if they can't deal with their own emotions and can't accept the fact that the world does not revolve around them, even though they want it to be that way. And that's another discussion I like to say is that the majority of video games is mostly a male hobby. Same goes with D&D and Warhammer and all that. Paper, pencil in general. And because things got so... like, I think Stardust Key's a YouTuber. Well, not anymore, because what they did with him, he's a Rumble, and he talked about this, that video games and D&D, paper, pencil used to be for quote-unquote losers. Because I used to play those games long before it became mainstream. Because people like, you play video games? You play D&D? It's like, yeah. Like, they didn't think much of it. Like, they didn't care. They thought that was a loser. Why did I do this? Even playing Legos, like, you still do that? Like, yeah, because it's fun. But as soon as someone popular and pretty plays it, then all of a sudden, when it becomes mainstream, all of a sudden everyone wants to be involved. It's okay now. The Overton window has been pushed, so now it's socially acceptable. Not only is socially acceptable, they talk as if they're experts of it. I'm like, really? You're telling me what D&D is and RPGs when I've been playing them long before you even cared about it. And I hate that. I was like, oh, so now it becomes socially acceptable. You know everything about everything. Right, so tell me, where did Metroidvanias come from then, sir? They didn't come from Hollow Knight. It started with Symphony of the Night, Castlevania Symphony of the Night. Then even earlier than that, Metroid. I doubt most of these people have even touched a Metroid game, to be honest. And I played all the Zeldas, except for one of Ganon, but that was a choice, and I didn't have the console to play that one. And I don't have the Switch one, because I don't own a Switch. But other than that, like, I played those games, I understand. I played all of the Metroid games except for the Switch one, Dread. That's the only one I haven't played. And I'm sitting here and I'm like, these people don't know anything about history, nor do they care. They just care about as someone cute and popular, have their hands on it, and therefore they play it. Same goes with Outlast. Outlast only became a thing because of Markiplier, I believe, because he's still popular. He's still YouTube elite. He played it, and then I think that's the same thing with Five Nights at Freddy too, because he's so popular with Five Nights at Freddy. They even have deviant art of him in it, being molested and even attempted raped on him by the other animatronics.
Ugh.
Yeah, that's a thing. They really, really, really want to see him get violated by these machines, and he made it popular. And Markiplier ain't ugly, but it's besides the point. But it's just when someone popular, plays the game and scream a lot and do all these dumb things, then suddenly they're like, oh, it's socially acceptable because someone that looks better than us plays it, so it's okay. It's high school all over again. When the cool kids touch it, it's sacred. If some loser touch it, it's bad. Ignore it. It'll rub off on you. So yeah. Geez, out of the 3 streams, I think this one tired me a little bit because it felt like a venting session. Because it's stuff that we talked about for years, not only just with you, with other people, that a lot of their problems could be fixed if they stop being greedy, which is not something you can just turn off like a light switch. Like Capcom had several gold mines and they keep blowing them up. EA, Ubisoft is the same thing too. Their worst is because they have the worst customer service for no reason. They keep screwing over their customers, their gamers, their fans, I should say, so much. They keep nickel and diming people like a religion. And I'm sitting here and I'm like, well, the best way you can stop them is not buying their stuff. But we don't like boycotting. Well, that's why they win. They win because they know they have no self-control or no restraint. The last Nintendo thing I bought was the 3DS and some digital games. This was several years ago, and that was it. Didn't buy the new 3DS. I didn't buy the Switch. Because Nintendo is beyond shady. EA? What's the last thing I got from EA? I think that's from you. And I can't even play it because I had to go on EA server to play it. Even though you could probably play the damn game on Steam. But they try to force people to use their stupid EA server to play their bullshit. And then, what else? Ubisoft is the same thing too. Like, the more you do this, the more people are going to hate you. But at the same time, a lot of dumbasses just say, I don't care, it's not happening to me. Okay, narcissist, as long as it doesn't happen to you, it doesn't exist. And then when it happens to them, the damage is done. It's like, oh, look. We got their money, so who cares? Just like with Onimusha 2. We got their money, so who cares what the naysayers have to say about our censorship? They're still buying it. And sadly, they're right.
They're not wrong. Yep.
It's just like what Todd Howard said. Even though he's an asshole, he says if you don't like the DLC season pass, then don't buy it. Says the man who does it and keeps sending out broken-ass games. It's like, oh, so you admit you're part of the problem, and I'm not going to fix it. Or do anything about it. Just don't buy it. Okay, I'm not going to buy Starfield. Well, don't worry about it, pal, because there's millions of people who will buy it. They don't care, they don't think, they just want to get away from their sad, pathetic little lives. And I can't disagree with him. He's right. Like, people are just going to defend things because they want to get away. And I'm like, are you a drug addict or a gamer? And I think there's almost no difference between the two these days. It's like, as long as it makes me feel good, don't matter. And I don't like this excuse of, it's my money, I can buy whatever I want. And I'm like, okay, so stop complaining then. Well, it's like, well, you don't have to buy the gun. You don't have to buy the cocaine. You don't buy the heroin. Just because you got money doesn't mean you have to buy things. You don't have to. You can save it for something else. It's like, just mean you can do something doesn't mean you should. Again, no restraint and no self-control. It's just my emotions matter. Okay, then let's see how long that's going to last when it comes to building real relationships. And they complain about, I can't have a girlfriend or a boyfriend. Blah. It's like, well, what do you think is going to happen when your standards are very shallow? What do you think is going to happen when your standards of things is just, well, as long as I buy this game, I'm happy. It's like, okay, but then you realize that your computer can't handle this game, so now you have to buy expensive computer parts just to get it running just for this one game. Yet all the hundreds of maybe thousands of games you have on your computer, you can play perfectly except for this one game. I think that's ridiculous, don't you think? You have to get all this crap to build your computer to play one game, and yet everything is fine on all your other games. That's ridiculous to me. It's like I bought this suit. Yeah, it's like I bought this nice suit just for this job, not so that I can go out and party in it. I just bought this one nice suit for a job that I hate. It's crazy to me. We can close it now unless you got any final words. Cause
I mean, that's up to you, man.
I know. I think we can end it here. So, bye everyone. If there's any person watching, but person or not, but I had fun doing this. I'll do more in the future. So, see you later, everyone. In the near future, I have something new. We'll see what happens, and toodaloo. So say goodbye, chat.